Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology forecast for the final week of March 2014. The sun is now in Aries, the moon is in Aquarius. Tonight she'll move into Pisces. Saturday she'll join the sun in Aries, and then this Sunday at 2:45 p.m. we have a new moon in Aries. It is a special, particularly special new moon because a new moon is really a time of sowing seeds of intention, of new birth. And this new moon in Aries is indeed the new moon and the birth of the entire moon cycle for the year. And if you remember in my last report, I ranted for like a full 25 minutes and really barely touched upon the astrology going on. That's because last report was really focused on the essence of 2014. And it did come off very passionate and direct because I don't really, I am direct in these videos and I don't sugarcoat anything. But it could have come off a little harsh too. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about, the energy, more breaking it down in astrological terms, so hopefully we can understand why there is sort of this harshness that can be there, and why is there this tension, why is there this intensity, and why is there this passion, this fieriness? Well, there's a lot of stuff being born right now, and a birthing process is a pretty fiery, intense, and not necessarily painless time. So, it is a period where we can really see astrology being a very beneficial form in science. This is a time of seeing, well, okay, I'm feeling the planets right now. This whole thing is tangible and it is beneficial to know about these things. So I'm going to also include an additional video this week, I believe, telling people how they can look up their own transits a little bit as well. So the focus of this report is going to be on the new moon this Sunday, which is in Aries, and it's conjunct Uranus, and it's square Pluto and Jupiter. So this new moon is initiating the Grand Kite formation that's going to be taking us all the way through April, and this Grand Kite is the initiation of the year of 2014, which is the year of initiation, which is the time of new beginnings. So we can be feeling this stuff starting to brew up a little bit. We can feel and anticipate and maybe perhaps even feel a little, anxiety for what's going to come. And that is because the anticipation is usually more difficult to bear than the actual going through of, the birth, the death, whatever, because we can feel it coming, but we're not quite there yet. And that's where we are this week, and that's where we are with this new moon. And I think this is what we can use and harness this new moon energy to really be in favor of our growth, of the birth of the new us. This period is about the birth of the new you. And it's a very delicate balance with this new moon between, manifesting what we want to be, specifically where we want to go, what work we want to do, what I want our job to be, various things, and not being too attached to those things as well, because there is so much transformation happening. There is so much beyond our current perception and scope to see that we have to be flexible. We have to surrender. Surrender is very key right now, because we can know what we want, we can know what we don't want, but we are ultimately not the ones in complete control. That is the universe, that is the unseen forces that move through us. So we can know what we want, and then we surrender. We don't choose when we leave this planet. We don't choose when our loved ones leave. And it's not exactly healthy to focus on the fear of them leaving. It's not about fear. However, we do have to accept the reality that it could go that way at any time, because we are not in complete control of nature. We are a part of nature. So, nature, astrology, planets, unseen forces that are moving us. Like I said, this is a time where astrology becomes apparent. It's intensity, which means there's great potential. Wherever there's great tension, there is great potential, and there is such great potential right now. But does not always come necessarily easy. For example, winter seems to be drawn out longer this year than in previous ones. at least here in the United States. Up north it's still snowing, and the spring solstice equinox was last week. So this is like a similar and good analogy for what I'm talking about energetically, where we're feeling tension. It's still winter, and we just want to frickin' be done with winter. We want springtime. I mean, come on. If it's, April time and it's still snowing, you gotta be kidding me. So what it is we're pulling the bow back and just pulling it back, and the arm is shaking and the arm is getting tired, but you're still pulling it back. There is still more potential there. There is still greater force that is going to be thrusting us forward. And that's why it's not necessarily comfortable, and comfort is not exactly a thing we should be striving for right now. This is a time where we're going to be seeing some really extreme results, both ends of the spectrum, really good and bad things, although this is not a question of good and bad. This is not a question of punishment and reward. No, this is a reward for everybody. This is a move forward for everybody, and it's not going to be easy for everybody, because moving forward and getting, learning is not about getting chocolate treats all the time. No, there's hard work being put in right now. Tomorrow Mercury's in Pisces, entered Pisces last Monday, I didn't mention that, in sextile to Pluto, deep, passionate, intricate thinking. And Mercury's in Pisces until April 7th, when Mercury moves into Aries. So right now our minds are still in the ambrosia, the inconceivable. Like, it's still like what is being manifested internally is still in, dreams and goals and fantasy, and it's just starting to come out, this birthing process. Before the child is born, it's really still sort of mysterious. Yeah, we can do the ultrasound to get an idea of what this baby's going to look like, but it's not until this baby pops out that we really see it. So again, with this new moon, the seeds that we are planting on Sunday, what is our intention? What do we want to become? We do want to be specific, because we are learning right now actively what specifically it is that we are doing, and that is what is going to be born throughout the month of April, what it is specifically that I have to give. Who am I is what this is about. We posted this great video on our Facebook page yesterday about this energy healer explaining, about all this stuff, raising our vibration, etc., and using positive affirmations in a productive way. And a really great one that she gave is, I am paid to be me. That is like a perfect affirmation for this culture, for this country, because everybody is miserable because they're not being themselves, because they have to make money. So using that as a way, because it's not too specific, but it's specific enough that it captures the essence of what you do really want. I want to be paid to be me, That's the kind of energy that we want to be putting into this new moon, because it really is going to pay off through all this transformation. All right? And it is about Uranus. It's about your higher, highly unique, highly eccentric, highly weird, not understood by everybody, far out, scientific, whatever it is. It is your individual truth, though. Everybody has an individual truth. Everybody has an individual spiritual truth. And that is your inherent gift that you want to give. Everybody has a gift that they want to give, and until it is given, we are unsatisfied. So that is the essence of this new moon. And how we embrace that mentality of giving and wanting to give our gift is sort of a determining factor in how gentle this period can be with us. There is a big shift in vibration, and there is a choice. And the choice is not a mundane choice. Like I always say, the choice is not, well, the new moon's at 2:45 p.m. on Sunday, so at 2:45 p.m. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to, inject my intention and then watch it blossom. It's not quite so mechanical and simplistic as that. We're making choices all the time, but they're very deep, internal, soul-level choices. What do I really want to do right now is not something that you choose up here. It's something that you choose on a very deep level. So that being said, the transformation, the vibrational shift that is happening, some people have opted in and some people have opted out. And that is a big determining factor in what people are going to be receiving, where people are going to be going, where people are going to be choosing to go. There are going to be some splits, which is painful because it is heartbreaking right now to see people opt out. You know, people that don't want to go there, that don't want to basically make the jump. You know, it has to do with what you've aligned yourself with, and what people have aligned themselves with is now going to start becoming apparent. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we've aligned ourselves in a way that wasn't in service to our real, truest intentions, that will be made apparent to us right now. And if we have been aligning ourselves, trying to align ourselves with our greatest intentions, deep down, heartfelt desires, that will be made apparent to us as well. And that's sort of what I was talking about in the last video. But it has to do with, you know, spirit and matter. That is the determining factor in whether or not we are satisfied or not. It has nothing to do with religion or belief systems or, you know, clothes, mentality, philosophy, teachers, whatever books you read. None of that. It's a simple understanding that there is what is eternal and what is not. And what spirit is that it's that eternal essence that inhabits matter, material. But material, matter, is different from spirit. There is a difference. There is a distinguishment. You know, concrete is not conscious. Concrete is not a living entity. It is possible for spirit to enter concrete, in which case it becomes spiritualized. That is different. This body is made out of rock, really. You know, we were made out of the earth originally, but spirit has come and spiritualized this rock to make it alive. But am I this body? No, I am not this body, which is why when spirit leaves, this body returns to its original state of being simply rock, which is not conscious. No. So this body, you know, it's full of life, but it is not the same as life. Why am I giving this explanation? Because on a very deep root level, we have been deciding and aligning ourselves with spirit or with matter. And this is again why it's going to determine the gentleness of these transitions for us. Because if we are totally only aligned with matter, and matter starts changing very, very rapidly, and things end and new things are born, that is very difficult to understand. That is harsh. You know, because we haven't aligned ourselves with what is eternal. So transition is very difficult. So, you know, this is where this life, death, spirituality stuff becomes very, very important. And, you know, everybody, you know, some people get uncomfortable about it, but it is something that you can't avoid. It is something that you do have to confront at a particular time. Everybody must. There's no choices. So, you know, we're feeling a birth, and we're feeling pressure, and we're sort of feeling death around us too, because the old stuff is dying now, and it's not bad. But if we're so attached to the old stuff, you know, if we're attached, you know, it's interesting because this is a period of busting out of prison. Don't take me wrong, it's really good. But if we've become so attached to those prison bars, you know, oh my gosh, I've had my face in between these bars for so long that I feel so comfortable here. And then somebody, you know, a hero breaks you out of prison, and momentarily we have that confusion of my prison bars. You know, I've been hugging on to those for years and now they're gone. There is that period of confusion and disorientation and, you know, possibly going crazy for a little bit of time until we reawaken to what the new is, which is, oh, well, now I'm outside of prison. So we're in the early stages of this process still. And for a lot of people, they have become attached to prison. So it's not going to be an easy transition. You know, there is an awakening to things that are not always comfortable. It's not easy to realize that you fell asleep in prison when you've been dreaming about sugar candy, cotton, you know, whatever. And this is sort of what we're talking about right here. So with this new moon, with our intentions, with who we are building ourselves into becoming, with what our core desire is that we want to give in order for us to be truly satisfied, I get paid to be me, what might it be nice for us to sort of internally prepare ourselves for, knowing the astrology, knowing what's sort of going on, knowing spirituality a little bit, is we want to be creating a space to be an assistance to people who might be going a little bit crazy, who may not totally understand, who may be shaken. You know, there is a little bit of harshness involved, like I said, but that harshness is in the best interest of people. So it'd be nice if, you know, there's some guides and some gentle helping hands to, you know, assist them with that. And next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the sun initiating again that grand kite. The sun's going to move. Tuesday, square Jupiter. Wednesday, conjunct Uranus. Thursday, square Pluto. So again, we're going to be feeling it. We're feeling the first initial birth pangs, and you know, we're feeling anxious too. And the way to handle this anxiety is just the same as giving birth. You must relax. You must trust. You must throw your hands up and say, yes, this is what I want. This is what the changes I would love to see. This is who I want to become. This is my core desire. This is what I want to manifest. I want to be paid to be me. But I also don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know the changes. And, you know, these surprises could be so great that it's something better than I could have even anticipated. And that's something that we do want to keep in mind while we're doing this manifestation for the new moon. All right? So, it's a great time to opt in. It's a great time to say yes to change, to say yes to spirituality. You know, spirit means that which is eternal, which means we're focusing on what is eternal. We're not focusing on matter. We're not focusing on the literal, on the surface transformations. That's not the essence. We're focusing on the deep down stuff. We're focusing on love. This is all in the service to liberation, us coming into the world as it's meant to be. So, I'm going to be putting up a video explaining people how they can look at this grand kite themselves in their own chart. You're looking at 12, 13, 14 degrees of the cardinal signs, which is Cancer, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. Those degrees are what falls in line with the grand kite, which means you're going to be feeling it in whatever areas that is. So I can take a look at your own chart. Click the link below. I didn't even mention eclipse season is coming in April. You know, so we're looking at eclipses. We're looking at the grand kite, and you know, this is birth period. Eclipse period is when, you know, the lights go out and then they come back on and everything's different. So we are dealing with changes. We're dealing with transformation. We're dealing with the birth of a new, powerful, secure, stable, confident you. The way that we get true, tangible courage, confidence, stability. Confidence is through actualizing, realization, acquiring true intelligence, true understanding of what really is going on, of what we really are, of what we're really dealing with. And that's what's on the platter being served to us right now. Extremely beneficial and rare grace coming down to us, through us, in us, these days in this world. So really all wonderful things, even when it apparently is not so. So let us just admit that we can't understand everything. Our rational minds are crazy in themselves. We do not understand the fullness and the completeness and depth of life, but it is slowly and surely being revealed to us, and that is for our enjoyment. So, wishing you the best for you and your beloveds. Namaste.